Well, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us here on XY Spark. This is your boy Rolando. We're so happy for those of you who continue to decide to be a part of our conversation wherever you are joining us from. We just want you to know that we're happy to have you, and we do hope that our conversation this afternoon will give you some encouragement and some counsel. We have a very, very, very interesting topic. Our topic this afternoon is men overcoming societal stigmas, men overcoming societal stigmas. And we want to know you to know that at XY Spark we are wide open for conversation and feedback. So please feel free if you do have a question and if you want to be a part of the conversation, we will you just put your email in the chat. We'll send you a live link and you can join in the room and become a part of our conversation one time. And so, how have you guys been? It's been a while that I've done a live, and I want you guys to know that, I was trying to cross T's and dot I's, but we're seeking to continue to have our conversation here on XY Spark. And because we have crossed over into season two, we are already making sure that we put all of our programs via video. So when you go on the Podbean app, you can see our guests, you can see who I am to put a face to the voice, and so you can enjoy the conversation. So, this afternoon, we will be talking about men overcoming societal stigmas. I want to send a shout out to the community of Rocky Mountain House and to the community of Fort McMurray and to those other communities that participated in our men's mental health march that passed on Father's Day in the month of June. It was a big success, and we just want to say we appreciate you. We wanted to put in your calendars that in the year 2022, we are going to be having our second, or we will call our first annual Men's Mental Health March, and that will be happening on June the 12th, 2022. Please put that in your calendar. June the 12th, 2022 will be our next Men's Mental Health Awareness March. We want to say welcome to you wherever you're joining us from, and this afternoon we'll be talking about men overcoming societal stigmas. Please feel free to make a comment and join us as we together share in this conversation. In the meantime, guys, don't go away. We'll be right back after this short intro.
Grief and loss, trauma, mental health, alcohol and drug use, gender roles, anger management, self-esteem, sexual abuse, domestic violence, and the pressures of societal norms are real-life issues that affect men. Join Rolando, psychotherapist, author, life coach, and motivational speaker that has dedicated his profession to working with men to find a healthier alternative to cope and handle these stressors. Rolando believes that men are lacking in social, psychological, emotional, and spiritual support that is necessary for a lifestyle that promotes healthy masculinity. We invite you to join us on XY Spark, where we discuss issues that men face. At XY Spark, we believe the key for happier families is restoring healthy masculinity.
Great, great. Thank you for joining us, guys. Wherever you are joining us from, we appreciate you. And we just want to continue to send to you the XY Spark, love and appreciation for your support. Men overcoming societal stigmas. What are some of the stigmas that we face as men? As a psychotherapist, I've been privy to sit in many different circles and listen to some of the pressures that men go through. Some of those pressures that were handed down to us based on society and the expectations of society. And we continue to struggle again and again to overcome those stigmas. A stigma, believe it or not, we're talking about a social stigma. And it becomes what we call now, it is the disapproval or discrimination against a person based on a perceivable social characteristics that serve to distinguish them from other members of the society. Now, how fitting is that for us as men? We are in a society now where there is a certain expectation of us as men. And for those of us who are not taking the time to be more attuned and connected we will find ourselves spending most of our lives to try to fulfill those stigmas. We spend more time worrying about the stigmas than we spend to connect with our own selves and to reflect and to ask ourselves deep questions that's going to help us to grow. So, what are some of the stigmas? Some of the stigmas are, well, uh, we need to man up. What exactly does that mean? What does it mean to man up? We need to not talk about emotional needs, because if we do, then based on the societal norm, we are going to appear to be losing our place or space in the home and in the community. So, by virtue of that, we have to put forth this hard shell. We have to present ourselves as feeling less. We have to present ourselves as men who don't pay attention to emotions. We have to pay more attention to the fact that if I'm a man, quote unquote, I will not talk about or appear to be disturbed by certain things. And one of the popular sayings that we use as men is, I'm not going to talk about that, or why do I need to talk about that? I already moved on. I forgot about it. So why are you bringing it up again? And so, because of societal stigma, there's a certain pride that goes along with us holding on to trauma, holding on to pain, holding on to disappointments. There's a certain pride that goes along with, if I say this thing is not okay with me, I fear that I'm going to lose the the support of my friends or my colleagues. And so we don't talk about those things. Now, as men, we have to be more mindful to step out of our comfort zone and recognize that maybe the things that are happening to us are happening because we are paying too much attention to the societal stigma. We're paying too much attention to try to fit in to the mold that has been designed for us by society and by community. And the more time we spend, guys, believe it or not, the more time we spend to worry about society and to worry about the stigmas and to worry about fulfilling those mandates that society has handed down, is the more time we are going to be missing out on becoming the best version of ourselves. So we have got to really take some time to reflect and connect. You know, if you check out like now my Instagram or my TikTok page this week, I'm doing what I call the Healthy Masculinity Challenge. And day number one, the Healthy Masculinity Challenge is take 15 or 20 minutes just to reflect and recharge. We are not doing enough of that as men. We are training ourselves to be too busy because society believes that as a man, society tells us that you should always be busy. So some of us, if we find that we're not doing anything, we feel that, hey, it's not okay. I'm failing as a man. Okay, I need to be doing something. I always need to be doing something or going somewhere in order for me to be a proper male. All of these things are happening to us because of society. Another thing that society has taught us as men that we have embraced is that we must always make sure that we take care and put everybody else first. We do not have any place, or we don't have a number. Everyone else should come first, or kids or partners or siblings or parents. Everybody else comes first, and then whatever is left I get. So we continue to live our lives to fulfill the societal stigma, and we live our life on scraps. And I'm not saying we shouldn't take care of our families and our kids and our partners, but I'm saying if we're not taking care of ourselves, how are we? going to be around to see the fruits of our labor come to fruition? How are we going to be able to see, like our kids, for example? How are we going to see them go through college and march on the aisle one day without us maybe seeing that from a wheelchair or seeing that on crutches or seeing a recording of it? We have got to challenge the societal stigma. And I'm saying to all those who are in the room, you may be out there and you might have been following the societal stigma. You might have been spending so much time to worry about fulfilling the mandate that society has handed down to you. I want to encourage you to recognize that if you are going to break away from stigmas, it requires a lot of boldness. You got to have what I call guts. You've got to have that inner determination and that inner motivation and that internal drive to do something different, to do something that you've never done, to do something that's going to help you to break that cycle and develop a determination and an attitude that's going to take you to the next level. That's how men are going to overcome societal stigmas. Another thing that we have to learn to do if we're going to overcome societal stigmas, we've got to learn to not be so combative and so competitive. We've got to learn to stop seeing danger where there is none. We've got to learn to not live our lives on the defensive all the time. Sometimes we live our lives so defensive as men that we have forgotten what it looks like to laugh. We've forgotten what it looks like to play. We have forgotten what it looks like to relax because we are fulfilling societal stigmas. We're supposed to be hard and tough, and if we're not hard and if we're not tough and if we're not doing high risk sporting activities or living our lives where we act first and think later, we're not men. All this is happening to us because we are giving in to society. Healthy masculinity is recognizing that society is not responsible for my destiny. Society is not responsible for my decisions. Society is not responsible to guide me into the direction that I should go. That's my responsibility. And I've got to take hold of that and do those things that I need to do to be the best version of me so that I can grow and I can become that person that I was made to be. I'm telling you this, when you get right down to it, stigmas are always going to be there. Society is always going to have expectations. But as men, the challenge is we have to become more responsible and more in tune with those things that we need to do in order to beat these societal stigmas. This is your boy Rolando with XY Spark. We thank you for joining us. And remember, there is a spark in you.
Please join Rolando next time on XY Spark as he engages us in practical discussions that promotes healthy masculinity and challenge men to live extraordinary lives. At XY Spark, we believe the key for happier families is restoring healthy masculinity.